It's pretty sickening to see the propaganda and the repugnant deal-making that's going on in the Middle East over the ceasefire and the return of hostages. And it's pretty sickening to see the way our publicly funded media is reporting this. No wonder so many people are misinformed on the Middle East. So much hate is based on ignorance. Have a look at the latest hostage release reported on the ABC last night.
In the heart of Gaza City, at the place they call Palestine Square, Hamas keen to show it's still calling the shots. Parading 4 young, smiling hostages in front of growing crowds before handing them over to the Red Cross. The women's families watching the moment live on TV from Israel, shortly before the freed hostages crossed the border, whisked away to an Israeli military base.
How offensive it is to see this show put on by Hamas, armed to the hilt, playing the nice guys, organising for their hostages to smile for the cameras after their compatriots have been slaughtered and they've been kept as hostages in war crimes that have stretched on for 477 days. But remember how you've been told for all that time that everyone killed in Gaza was a civilian? Remember you were told they were all starving in Gaza? Remember you never saw any Hamas soldiers wearing uniforms or their green bandanas? Notice how different it all looks now?
Palestinians watching the handover, seeing it very differently.
We are very happy. We are victorious. We are proud. All we've endured, our resilience and the starvation were not in vain.
Why not give? Look at us. It's been a year and we are still standing.
Yeah, Hamas everywhere now, aren't they? Healthy young men everywhere too. Most of the world's media ignores these paradoxes. They just run the propaganda breathlessly. And on the ABC last night, we even had their senior reporter, John Lyons, whose work on the Middle East I've highlighted here before, paid for by taxpayers, of course, in the West Bank, to share in the joy of all the terrorists released in those sick hostage exchanges.
Abdul Salam Halabiya waits for his brother Ibrahim, who's been in prison for 21 years. He was a commander of a Hamas cell in Jerusalem and planned a suicide bombing in a cafe, which was thwarted before it could happen.
Can you understand Israelis being very concerned about him being released?
In general, we're against targeting Israeli or Palestinian civilians. But the clash between Palestinians and Israelis has gone through different moments. At the time when he carried out this operation, it was a specific moment.
Really? A specific moment when it was okay to plan a suicide bombing attack in a cafe? The sort that has killed so many hundreds of Israelis over the years? No comment on that from Lyons and the ABC. Instead, they're there for the celebrations as a convicted terrorist is released.
In the chaos and pushing, Abdul Salam spots his brother. It's a frenzied reunion.
It's overwhelming, especially after such a long time in an occupation prison. Lately, things have only gotten worse. They've been treating us even more harshly since the war started.
Yeah, they give the convicted terrorist a platform to criticise Israel over his treatment. A Hamas terrorist whose organisation killed 1,200 people in the most grotesque way possible on October the 7th, 2023, and still they hold hostages. And he's been given a platform on the ABC to criticise Israel. And then Lyons himself relays some of the standard terrorist propaganda claims.
A lot of strong emotions in this courtyard at the moment.
Several of the men say they were tortured by Israelis while in prison.
Yeah, that's the standard claim from all terrorists. John Lyons would know that. They are trained to claim they are tortured if ever they're captured. And your taxpayer-funded ABC just puts that claim to air on their behalf. This is terrible stuff from the ABC, and it helps to explain why so many people fail to understand this issue, because they're fed misleading propaganda rather than the facts. Let's hope Donald Trump increases the pressure here. Where are the rest of the hostages? Where are the dead hostages? Why is Hamas still running the show?